everyone, it's Dianne at Minerva. I hope you're all doing really well this week. And today I'm going to be sharing with you the new range of patterns by Stylark that we have available now at Minerva. There really is something for everyone with jackets, dresses, tops, trousers, and I'm sure you're going to have fun updating your wardrobe with these. Now, as always, Stylark patterns are in a lovely size inclusive range, so we have from a 4 up to a 30 in all of these patterns that I'm about to share, and they all mix and match and go really well together. So I think they're going to make a really cohesive wardrobe, whichever ones you choose. So some of the styling on the photographs and the images, as you will see, includes a selection of these patterns together, so you can really get a feel of what they look like. So first up we have the Petal top. Now this is a knit top, so it's a t-shirt, it's a round neck t-shirt with the optional flutter sleeves. So this frill sleeve at the shoulder, you can leave that off if it's not your thing and just have the top plain, or you can add it in with a woven such as a broderie anglaise or some contrasting woven fabric. If you don't want it to be too stand out and too much of a statement, you could of course use a sheer fabric and keep it in the same colour so that it all really blends in if you don't really want that sleeve to be too much of a statement piece. Now I do have a top like this with the broderie anglaise frill at the shoulder, and I think it's a really nice detail. So don't rule it out altogether. Maybe try it because it is a really nice look. Now this t-shirt, as I said, it's round neck, it's fitted and it's hip length. And this is a medium ability pattern. I think it's a really easy pattern to make for anybody, whatever your sewing ability, and it is one that will go with everything. So it'll go with those jackets, cardigans for the cooler months, or wear it without with your shorts and your lightweight skirts and trousers in the spring and summer. It's a really lovely pattern and I think you're going to have fun making it. So fabrics, a knit jersey, a t-shirt knit, that kind of weight for this. But if you want to be a little bit braver, a little bit bolder, I would go for a ponte on this as well. I have made ponte t-shirts before and they work really well, but you do get a bit more of a structured look to that. Not quite so slouchy in the feel, so that is up to you. But a lovely little top for your wardrobe. Now next up we have the Braxton shorts. Now as you can see from the images, these are a really smart pair of shorts. These would work well not only for your holidays but also I feel for workwear in the summer with a blazer and a smart blouse, because they have that lovely fitted look. They have pleats at the front, they have pockets with piping, darts at the back, a fly at the front with a button, and they sit just above the knee. So we've got that lovely tailored look, but if you want to dress it down and wear it with t-shirts, you could wear it for a more casual feel or dress it up and make it look more formal. So they're really versatile and I think they would go well with lots of items in your wardrobe. Now they are medium to advanced ability sewing level. Now I think this is mainly because of the pockets and the zip fly at the front. So if you want to challenge yourself a little, maybe have a go. They do have that lovely fitted waistband that sits at the natural waistline as well. So in regards to fabric for these, you could go for a linen, a gabardine, maybe a crepe. Bear in mind that your fabric choices will affect how those pleats sit at the front. Again, the sizing is from a 4 up to a 30, so really size inclusive, and a beautiful pair of shorts. If you're looking for a dress, how about this next one, which is the emerald dress. This has some beautiful details. So we have a collar with stand, there are patch pockets, it's a waisted shirt dress, so buttons down the front, and we also have the option of doing a tie at the back and inseam pockets. Now the sleeve, we have this elbow length sleeve that has tucks and a binding at the bottom of the hem. Or we can opt to leave those off and make it sleeveless, and then the binding is on the inside. Again, this is sort of medium to challenging ability. I think this is mainly due to that front button band and the pockets and so on. So think about that before choosing your pattern. Now we can go for a cotton poplin, a rayon, a silk, maybe try a crepe in this one for something a little heavier. Depending on which kind of crepe you choose, that would depend on the look of the dress overall. So I think this is a wonderful one for the summer, but trying out different heavier fabrics, it could carry you through the seasons. And of course, we can play around with the sleeve length, change it up, leave the pockets off, add the tie. So all those little details would make this dress look slightly different. So it's a mid-calf length, but of course this will vary depending on your height. And of course we can always change the look of a dress by changing the hem length if we want to alter that altogether. Now, again, we have a 4 up to a 30 in sizing. And I think it's the perfect one for your holiday wardrobe if you're looking for a summer dress. Now we have a jacket pattern. So if you're looking for a blazer to tie those first few items together and make your wardrobe complete, this next pattern, the Sloan Jacket, could be just the one for you. So we have a relaxed fit. It's a single-breasted blazer. We have a revere collar. Now this jacket is unlined, but we have bound edges on the inside of the facings. It does have a back vent, so we've got that lovely sort of finished off look to the overall jacket, and I think this would just work well with those shorts, with the top. It'd work well with your trousers, casual or smart, and of course thrown over dresses just to finish off and complete an outfit. So we can make this in crepe, gabardine, wool or linen. Sizing ranges from 4 up to a 30, and it has just a beautiful look to it overall. So we have welt pockets and we have a centre back seam. Now it is medium to challenging again, but I think if you take your time, that collar is something that you could master if you just split it over a few sessions. So if you're a little bit worried about details such as pockets and collars, just remember that you can break your sewing sessions down and just take your time, and this is something you may be able to have a go at if you're just wanting to up your skill level. And with it being online, that's one less step to think about. I think it's a beautiful jacket and it'd work well with lots of pieces. Now, if we're just looking for an easy casual trouser, then the Jeffrey knit trousers or pants is probably the one for you. It is easy to medium mobility, so not too challenging, but it does have some beautiful features. So if we have a look at the images, we can see it has a wide waist. Now this is achieved with a wide elastic that goes into a rib. We also have inseam pockets, and to the leg there is the detail of a curved leg, and this has tucks in the side. So stitched tucks create that curved effect. There is also top stitching to the fly and the leg, so this is an extra detail that just elevates it just a little. It comes to the ankle, so it's an ankle length, and then that hem is finished with a twin needle. So enough to be giving you something to get your teeth into, but it's also a nice easy make that would suit everyone. Now it is suggested that you go for a sweatshirt knit or maybe a fleece for this, but I think it would work well in a jersey if you want to make it for loungewear or maybe for nightwear. So a nice weight t-shirt jersey would work well in this to make it a more lightweight garment for wearing for bed or just wearing for lounging around in the evening. So the sizing again is from a 4 up to a 30, so it's lovely and inclusive, and as you can see from the styling on the photographs, that it's just so easy to wear, and it goes with another pattern that I'm going to be sharing shortly, and it just looks so fun. I think you'll enjoy making this one. Next up we have a gorgeous dress. So this is the Harry dress or top. So this is a good value pattern because we get the option to make it as a dress or a top. Now the dress has a slight A-line shape to it. It also has dolman sleeves with tucks and an elastic opening. We also have an elastic casing to the front and also to the back. And we have optional inseam pockets. Now you can either make it with a V-neck or a round neck. Now as you'll see on the images, this really does change up the look, and the top sits at the hip. So we can just really vary up our look with this pattern and have lots of fun. Make a few different dresses with the various necklines, adding in those different details, or make the tops to go with our skirts and trousers and shorts. So I think it's really good value. Now the back of the dress has a little vent at the top, and then this fastens with a loop and button detail. So lots of nice design elements to get stuck into there. So it's a medium mobility, so not too complicated, and we can make it in a variety of fabrics. So we could go for a linen, a crepe, a rayon, or a silk. So have a play around with those fabric choices also to change up the formality of your dress. Sizing is from a 4 up to 30, so again, really size inclusive. And I think this particular shape, especially because you can make it as a top if a dress is not your thing, is really suitable for all styles. For our next pattern, we have the Deline Jacket. So I love this one. It is really versatile and it is a style that I do love. I don't think this ever goes out of fashion. So here we have the option of adding in the pockets, or you can just add the pocket flap. So we can have 4 patch pockets to the front. We can add in 2. We can have 4 faux pockets or 2, again, depending on the look you want to go for. It has a 2-piece sleeve. We can opt for the round neck or the collar. And we also have the option to do the decorative edge. It is an edge-to-edge jacket. Or we can add in that fray detail at the neck, the pockets, the cuff. So depending on the type of fabric that you go for, you could make it in a boucle, add in the fray detail. You could go for that classic sort of Chanel kind of look. Or make it in a wool or a tweed or maybe a twill for the daytime, and have it looking more utility, more sort of everyday, a casual sort of workwear or casual daytime jacket. We could also make it in a velvet for a going out jacket, add in some bright buttons or some gold buttons. So all these little details change up the way this jacket looks. So your fabric, your styling, your choices can make it something completely different. So one pattern made in so many different ways. As you can see from the images, there's such a selection of looks to go for. Now, it is for an experienced sewer, but I think this is mainly due to the details such as the fraying and the pockets. Because if we make it without the collar and with limited pockets, maybe make it unlined. We can make it lined or unlined, so we have the option with this jacket. Leave out a few of those details and I think it would be suitable for a medium level sewist. So just think about that before you roll this pattern out. Just leaving off a few details would make it more suitable for you and your ability. So I think it's one of those patterns that will go with lots of things in your wardrobe, but you can make it again and again over the coming years. So one to have in your catalogue, and I think it's an excellent addition to your wardrobe. Now my final choice is the Cassia Knit top. So as you can see, this is a gorgeous casual top for everyday, I would say, or maybe even sportswear. It would also work really well for going to the beach. If you don't want to take a jacket, you just want to take a sweater with you, something to put on later in the day. This is just perfect because it has that lovely wind cheater style collar with the zip down front. We have that yoke detail, also a wide full sleeve with the cuff, and it sits sort of at the hip length. Now, I think this would work well in so many fabrics, but suggested are a fleece or an unbrushed fleece, sort of a sweater or sweatshirt knit. It does need some stretch because we will be pulling this on and off over our head. Now that collar and cuff are made in either the main fabric or you could choose a rib fabric. So if you're going to choose a rib, you could choose something with a contrast, maybe add in a stripe to make it a little bit more fun. Now it is for a medium Sewing ability, I think this would be quite easy to tackle for most people. Just make sure that you choose the right sort of fabrics and the right sort of needle. So you'll be needing a stretch or jersey needles depending on what you're working with, a ballpoint needle, and the right weight depending on the weight of your fabric. So that's the main things to watch out for. And I suppose the most complicated part would be adding in that zip at the neck. Again, the sizing is 4 up to a 30, so suitable for most people's styles and most people's sewing abilities, I feel, and a lovely way to round up our selection today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing these new patterns, and I hope you found one that you're ready to get stuck into. They are stocked here at Minerva, and remember, if you have a look at the Minerva Craft Club, you can get 10% off all your orders for a whole year. So maybe if you take a look at that first, you can get 10% off your pattern and your fabric that you choose. Also remember to create a free account with us, and that way you can share your makes in future with us. That's all from me for today, but thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.